Arriving at the interview is a critical part of the process, and it actually begins the moment you drive into the company's car park. So please do not be an hour and a half early for your interview and park in the company's car park and sit there for an hour and a half, because it might be clocked, and if someone's sitting there for an hour and a half, they think, well, that person isn't very busy.
Last thing you want to do is pitch up late for your interview. It doesn't show a particularly good start, and not only that, you're going to feel in the wrong frame of mind for your interview as well. Last thing you want to do is pitch in sort of sweaty, just having to run from the tube station to the office.
A good time is about 5 minutes before your interview is due to start. Once again, if this is a large office building, you may have to sign in downstairs and get to the 20th floor. So you've got to really think about the timing, and it is absolutely vital. Too early, too much pressure on the interviewer; too late is no good.
Frequently with these companies, certainly larger companies, they've got reserved bays or disabled bays, and you don't want to have to find yourself either circling around the car park for 10 minutes or parking somewhere where you shouldn't do and then being pulled out of your interview to move your car.
Be positive, be polite to absolutely everybody that you meet, because you're being judged from the moment that anyone can see you. The CCTV cameras in most organisations now, so wherever you are, you're probably being looked at by somebody. Dress code, really important. You are judged by how you look in the first 10-15 seconds. Whether we like it or not, that's just the reality of it. Now you need to identify what is the most appropriate dress code for that organisation. Lots of different ways of finding out. Obviously you can just phone up and ask the receptionist or the PA what is the appropriate dress code for their organisation. Don't assume. It always used to be men were in suits, ladies were in smart tailored clothes. Not the case anymore. It depends on who the organisation is.
If you're not sure, the best rule of thumb is to make sure that you dress conservatively. And by conservative, I'm talking about dark colours in your jacket, suit jacket or ladies' jacket, and that the blouse or shirt underneath should be of lighter colour, preferably cream or white.
The other thing you can do is park outside 5-6 o'clock in the evening the day before, find out what people are wearing when they come out.
Comedy ties, comedy socks, cartoon characters, cartoon cufflinks, cartoon scarves are just inappropriate, no matter what the role you go for.
You get examples of a managing director finishing an interview after 5 minutes because the candidate hasn't polished his shoes, and we'll give, even though people see that as a small point, we'll give a very reasonable explanation by saying, well, if someone's coming to something that important and can forget to clean the shoes, then what else could they forget? You know, and it's more reflection on the person. And certainly the guy that used to do our psychometric testing, the occupational psychologist, he used to have a huge problem with people that didn't wear watches, you know, because it was a very bad sign of organisation.
If you've been asked to take a seat in reception, when the interviewer comes out, and don't forget, this is the first time they'll have ever seen you, you're actually standing by the reception desk. It makes you look impatient, and it makes you look that you are unsatisfied at being kept waiting.
The PA stroke or the receptionist, whoever meets and greets you and takes you to the meeting room, is absolutely vital in the whole process. Again, don't underestimate their importance.
I used to work for an MD actually, whose PA always used to show people into the boardroom, sit them down, get them a cup of tea or coffee before the MD would conduct the interview. And before he went in, one of the first questions he asked his PA was, what do you think of them?
It's very important that they understand that it's the whole of the company that they're dealing with, and not just myself, and they can't just switch a light on and start smiling just when they walk into my office. It's important that they're dealing with everyone in the organisation.
And be ready then, of course, if you've got your coffee, if you've got your brochures, if you've got everything ready, you're going to have to stand up and shake somebody's hand. So pick the right seat, make sure everything's put down, you're not going to knock a coffee over in the first 10 seconds.
Show an interest in them, be polite, but don't be over polite, don't be smarmy. You know, nobody likes a smart ass, but show a genuine, sincere interest in them as individuals.
Be enthusiastic. I think that actually exudes confidence, and someone who was bright and confident would inspire me. You can have as many qualifications as you like, but if you're not bright and inspiring, I wouldn't be interested.
An interviewer wants to see and hear lots of enthusiasm. They're judging you as to whether they like you, whether you're going to fit into the team, how easy or difficult will you be to manage. Are you competent? Are you capable of doing the job that they're going to ask you to do?
Ability to speak to an audience clearly, not an audience of 100 people, but 1 or 2, clearly, and get your point across. I think it's important to be able to enunciate your experience. It's very easy to write it on a piece of paper, but when it comes to explaining what you've actually done, you need to be able to do that.
What motivates me about a person is how much energy are they going to have, because when I've got people around me in my organisation, I want them to be up and energetic, because that energy has an effect on the business. If you've got people that are very low in energy, very lethargic, haven't got much going on in their life, it doesn't really do anything for my organisation or actually anything for me personally.
Because at the end of the day, if I'm going to work with them, I want to enjoy being around with them. I don't want to be with people that I don't enjoy their company.
The best interviews I've conducted from a point of view of people that have gone on to be successful have always been where the person's attitude has impressed me in the interview.
I think interviewees can be too cocky or too humble. When you're hiring people, you want people who will be part of your team and you're proud to show around the company and meet people from outside. So people who do themselves down, talking to their shoes, things like that, not impressive when you're interviewing. Similarly, you don't want to be taking Jack the lad round to be shown off in your team who's too cheeky and doesn't have enough knowledge and experience to offset that cheek, shall we say.
Switch your mobile phone off or put it on stun or silent or whatever it is that you do. And also that you don't have stupid ringtones playing the Looney Tunes theme when you're just trying to put across how serious you are and how dedicated you are to the new job.
I have had a situation where a guy came on for an interview. It was a classic case of how not to do an interview. He turned up late. Whenever that happens, and this guy in particular is all hot and bothered. He came in, he spent 10 or 15 minutes excusing himself and explaining why the traffic jam prevented him from getting in. No sooner had he sat down, 10 minutes into the interview, his telephone rang, which is a big no-no. In any interview, mobile phone should be switched off. He wasn't prepared, or maybe he was prepared, but the impression he gave because he was so flustered was that he was, just wasn't the candidate, not the kind of person I want representing our company.